Hello again. I'm doing discussion form 9, where we are going to answer some important questions. So the first question that I chose is, how do I deal with children who seldom talk or are soft-spoken? Do I encourage them to remain quiet, or do I make a genuine attempt to draw them in? I have a before and after answer for both of my questions. So before I read the chapter, I read that question, and my initial response would be to encourage them consistently to talk to other people, to put them in situations where they can connect with another student and things like that. After I read, though, my thoughts on it are a little bit different, because I learned in chapter 4 that there are several reasons why a child may not talk. They may have selective mutism. They may be learners of another language, or they maybe their parents speak a different language at home. So until you really know why the child is not speaking frequently, maybe they're just shy, then there's different ways that you would handle each of them. If they were selectively mute, you want to make it a point not to diagnose them yourself, but rather to write down your observations and possibly get them or their parent in contact with someone who specializes in that. But you could also, at that time, encourage them to, speak with other classmates, but not put a lot of pressure on them. On page 113 of our textbook in chapter 4, we talk a little bit. It talks a little bit about learners of a second language, and in this section, if that was the case, you would want to help them to, first of all, keep the classroom a little quieter so that they're not confusing the sounds from English to their native language. Take the time to look the children in the eye and show them that you're paying attention. Link up English-speaking partners in non-competitive games. Use repeated presentations of the same songs at group time. Provide activity choices in which the child does not have to interface with others. So give them an opportunity to do activities where they don't have to interface with others. So these are, I guess they call them safe havens. So I guess it really depends on what the situation is. So you have to assess the situation, assess why the child is not speaking, and then from there are several different ways that you can handle it. And then also my second question is, do I listen patiently to children who have difficulty expressing their ideas and struggle to be understood, or do I quickly move on? Do I make opportunities for them to be heard? So same, before I had an opinion about things, and now I have a different one. So before I read, I thought that you should encourage them to speak, but maybe wait patiently, give them an opportunity to speak, but not put too much pressure, because you don't want them to sit there and feel like everyone's staring at them and get nervous and scared. So you give them an opportunity, and if after a while they don't speak, maybe you would say, well, we'll come back to you, think about it, and then move on. After I read my readings, I found in chapter 4, page 122, it talks a little bit about articulation disorders, and that may not necessarily be the problem with every child, but in reference to articulation disorders, you want to, and it says on page 122, I'm going to read from this so I don't mess it up. It says that teacher behavior that helps a child with articulation problems includes not interrupting or constantly correcting the child, and make sure that others do not tease or belittle. And you would also want to model misarticulated words correctly and use a good course of action. So simply continue your conversation and insert the correctly articulated word in your answering comment. So, and I guess we can kind of go the other way with it. So maybe the child isn't having a problem articulating what maybe the words that they're not saying words. They're just sitting there quiet because they're concerned about articulating it wrong. So you would not want to allow others to belittle them or tease them. Give them time to say what they want to say. And then maybe present an idea, like, do you feel this way about it? Or do you feel that way about it? And allow them an opportunity to think. Maybe they're just having a problem connecting and thinking about what they're trying to say. So you can kind of ease them forward a little bit, like, hey, what do you think about this? So starting a dialogue for them to go off of, and, remaining calm. And if they say something wrong, not, instantly correcting them, but maybe modeling the proper word. If they use the wrong word, you can model the proper word, because as teachers, we are role models in every sense, and we are not there to make them feel bad or like they're not good enough, but to show them the right way to do it. And that is one of the most important parts of the job of a teacher. And so those are my thoughts about those two questions. I hope you enjoyed the video, and leave some comments below.